chosen ones. They feel you before they see you. The energy shifts when you enter a space, conversations stutter, bodies tense, eyes dart away then back again. This isn't social anxiety on their part, this is spiritual recognition. They're responding to something operating beyond the physical realm. Something they can't name but absolutely sense. You carry authority in dimensions most people don't even know exist, and that authority makes them nervous. Right now, people around you are acting stranger than usual, more distant, more reactive, more silent. You've probably noticed the shift. Some have pulled back without explanation. Some are watching you more intensely. Some seem almost afraid to speak directly to you. This isn't random. You're in a season where your spiritual power is intensifying. What you've been working on internally is now radiating externally. And those who exist on surface-level consciousness can feel the difference even if they can't articulate it. Here's what's really happening. You don't just have status in the physical world, you have rank in the spiritual realms, divine backing, heaven's authority operating through you. And this creates a frequency that triggers everyone around you. The spiritually aware recognize what you carry and either want to align with you or compete against you. The spiritually unaware just feel uncomfortable and don't know why. Both reactions confirm the same truth. You're not ordinary. You never were. Today you're going to understand why people have always treated you differently, why your presence alone shifts atmospheres, why your words carry weight that others don't, why your silence speaks louder than most people's conversations, and why accepting this truth is the key to stepping into everything you were born to do. Think of yourself as someone walking through a crowd carrying a torch in a dark room. You're not trying to blind anyone, you're just holding light. But to people who've grown comfortable in darkness, that light is painful. It exposes what they've been hiding. It reveals what they've been avoiding. It demands they either rise to meet it or retreat from it. Your very existence is that torch. And no amount of dimming yourself will make the light-sensitive comfortable, so you might as well burn bright. Your relationships tend to be intense, all or nothing. Deep connections that burn bright and sometimes burn out. And there's a pattern where people cycle in and out of your life. Someone will be close to you, then disappear for months or years, then return. This isn't randomness. This is what happens when your energy triggers growth in people who aren't ready to sustain that growth. They get close, they feel the call to evolve, they panic and retreat, then they do their growing elsewhere, then they return. Maybe ready this time, maybe not. This cycle has probably made you feel like you have abandonment wounds, and you do, but understand that these wounds were created by your power, not your weakness. People leave because they can't handle what you activate in them, not because something is wrong with you. Here's what nobody told you. You possess spiritual authority. Not the kind you claim or announce, the kind you were born with, the kind that operates whether you acknowledge it or not, and people sense this authority the same way animals sense a storm coming. It's instinctive, it's visceral. It bypasses their rational mind and triggers something primal. They recognize on a soul level that you carry something they don't, higher purpose, divine backing, a direct line to truth that can't be faked or borrowed. And that recognition terrifies them because it reminds them of everything they're avoiding in themselves. You're in a season right now where this power is intensifying. You've been working on yourself, you've been praying, you've just been surviving what was designed to break you. Whatever the path, you're calling your power back. And as it returns, people are reacting even more strangely than before. Some have gone silent around you. Some have distanced themselves without explanation. Some are watching from afar, studying your moves, waiting to see what you'll do next. This isn't paranoia. This is reality for those chosen to carry light in a world that's grown comfortable with darkness. Let me be direct about what you're dealing with. When you have genuine spiritual authority, you move differently, you see differently, you operate from a place most people can't access because they're too caught in surface-level existence. They're playing checkers while you're playing chess on a board they can't even see. and this creates a problem for them. Your presence alone calls them to growth. Your energy demands authenticity. Your very existence is a mirror showing them everything they're not facing. You don't even have to speak. You don't have to do anything. Just being yourself activates something in them that makes them squirm. Some will respond by trying to humble you. They'll attempt to make you small so they can feel bigger. They'll question your confidence, call it arrogance, suggest you need to be more humble. But here's the truth, they don't want you to know. You're already humble. Real humility isn't dimming your light to make others comfortable. Real humility is knowing your power comes from something greater than yourself and using it anyway. Your confidence doesn't come from ego, it comes from faith, from overcoming what should have destroyed you, from knowing you have purpose. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. Others will respond by leaving, not because they don't care about you, because they can't handle their own reflection in your presence. You trigger their growth, whether you intend to or not. Your energy calls them to level up, change patterns, face truth. And if they're not ready for that work, they'll create distance, they'll ghost, they'll fade, they'll blame you for things that have nothing to do with you, and you'll feel abandoned again, wondering why relationships in your life are so intense and unstable. But this is part of your path. You're not meant to keep everyone. You're meant to catalyze transformation. Some will transform alongside you, most will fall away. Both are necessary. And if this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. Let's talk about something that's been happening lately. You've been feeling like no matter what you do, someone has something to say about it. You try to be quiet and mind your business. People call you standoffish. You try to be friendly and engaging. People say you're doing too much. You succeed at something, people find a way to minimize it. You struggle with something, people act like they knew you would fail. There's no winning with certain people, because the issue was never your behavior. The issue is your existence. Your presence challenges their comfort. Your growth highlights their stagnation. Your peace exposes their chaos, so they'll find fault no matter what you do. Stop trying to get it right with people who've already decided you're wrong. Stop adjusting yourself for people who will criticize you regardless. Just be yourself. The right people will appreciate exactly that. The wrong people will reveal themselves through their reaction. Here's where it gets interesting. The people who can't be close to you will often still orbit your energy. They'll watch from a distance. They'll check your social media. They'll ask mutual friends about you. They'll think about you more than they'd ever admit, because your energy is magnetic even when it's intimidating. You inspire people. You make them want to be better. But inspiration without readiness creates resentment. So they admire you from afar, while privately hoping you'll stumble. They want you to succeed, but not too much. They want you to shine, but not brighter than them. This is the complex dance you've been in your whole life, with people who simultaneously love and fear what you represent. Now let's talk about what you've survived to get here. You've been through betrayals that would have broken most people. You've had friends who pretended to support your dreams while actively working against them. You've shared your hopes with people who used that information to sabotage you. You've experienced things so strange that when you try to explain them, people look at you like you're exaggerating. You're not. When you carry high spiritual authority, you attract high spiritual opposition. Life throws things at you that seem orchestrated because they are. You're being tested constantly, shaped constantly, refined constantly, and the crazy experiences you've survived aren't random. They're preparing you for what's coming. You've questioned yourself so many times, wondered if you were the problem, tried to figure out what you were doing wrong to attract such consistent chaos. Let me release you from that right now. You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing something right that threatens everything wrong. And everything wrong will fight back. But here's what you need to understand. Every tower moment you've survived made you stronger. Every person who left made room for better. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every dark season refined your light. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Everything was preparation. Here's something you might not have realized. You've been breaking generational patterns, things that have run in your family for decades or longer. You're ending cycles of dysfunction, trauma, limitation. You're the one who said enough. You're the one who chose different. You're the one who refused to pass the pain forward. And this pattern breaking comes at a cost. It means you often feel like the black sheep of your family, the one who doesn't fit, the one who thinks differently, the one who challenges tradition. Your family might not understand your path. They might criticize your choices. They might think you're being difficult or rebellious, but you're not. You're being free, and your freedom threatens their familiar patterns. Your growth highlights what they've accepted. Your healing exposes what they've ignored, so they'll resist you. They'll try to pull you back into old dynamics, but you can't go back. You've outgrown those spaces, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're at a point now where you're becoming non-negotiable about your boundaries. You're done dimming yourself, done explaining yourself, done tolerating energy that doesn't match yours. And this shift is creating even more distance between you and others. Some people are intimidated by your growth. They remember when you were uncertain, when you questioned yourself, when you could be influenced. Now you move with conviction. Now you trust yourself. Now you say no without guilt. And they don't know how to relate to this version of you, so they'll call you changed, call you different, call you cold. Let them. You're not cold. You're clear, and clarity always looks like coldness to people who benefit from your confusion. The spiritual realm recognizes your ranking, even if you don't fully understand it yourself, even if you feel like you're still figuring things out. There's a level you operate on that most people never access. You have gifts, discernment that warns you before logic catches up, intuition that reads energy like others read books, wisdom that comes from somewhere beyond your years, and people with spiritual awareness recognize this in you immediately. They either want to learn from you or compete with you. Rarely is there middle ground. You've probably noticed that other spiritually minded people sometimes react to you strangely. They either cling to you desperately or keep distance carefully because they recognize you're operating at a level that challenges them. Some will try to teach you things you already know. Some will try to humble you with false wisdom. Some will try to convince you they're more advanced. Let them perform. You don't need to prove anything. Your gifts speak for themselves. Your results speak for themselves. Your peace speaks for themselves. Real power doesn't announce itself. It just is. 1. Here's something you need to know about relationships. The people meant for your life won't be intimidated by your light. They'll be attracted to it specifically because it calls them higher. Your real tribe isn't afraid of your power. They celebrate it. They don't need you to dim so they can shine. They know there's enough light for everyone. But finding these people requires you to stop making yourself smaller for those who aren't ready. Stop over-explaining your choices to people who've already decided not to understand. Stop trying to force connections with people who clearly can't handle your energy. Your job isn't to make everyone comfortable. Your job is to honor what you carry and trust that the right people will recognize it. Some of you are waiting for someone specific to reach out. Someone from your past who walked away or pulled back, and you're confused because you thought this connection was significant. It probably was, but timing matters. Some people need to go do their own growing before they can stand beside you. Some people need to learn certain lessons the hard way. Some people need to watch you shine from a distance before they understand what they walked away from. Don't chase them. Don't beg for their attention. Don't try to convince them of your worth. Your worth isn't up for debate. If they're meant to return, they will when they're ready. If not, someone better is coming. Right now, you might be feeling indecisive about something, stuck between options, unsure which direction to move. This usually means you're in a waiting season. Something is aligning that hasn't aligned yet. Someone is growing who hasn't grown yet. The right door is preparing to open, but isn't open yet. Don't force movement just because you're impatient. Don't make decisions from anxiety. Don't choose something because you're tired of waiting. Wait on your clarity, wait on your peace, wait on the knowing that rises from your gut and says this is it. That knowing will come, it always does for you, because you're directly connected to divine guidance, and divine guidance doesn't leave you hanging. You've learned something most people never learn: how to break patterns, how to change when change is uncomfortable, how to grow when growth feels impossible. And this ability to evolve rapidly sets you apart. Most people stay stuck in the same cycles their entire lives, same relationships, same reactions, same limitations. You don't. You recognize what needs changing, and you change it, even when it's hard, even when people judge you for it, even when you have to walk away from familiar comfort into unknown territory. This willingness to transform is part of why you're chosen. God needs people who will actually move when called. Most won't. You do. Your confidence triggers people because it's rooted in something they can't access. You're not confident because life has been easy. You're confident because you've survived what should have destroyed you and came out stronger. You're confident because you've seen yourself overcome impossible odds repeatedly. You're confident because you know you're backed by something bigger than yourself. This isn't ego. This is faith tested and proven. This is strength earned through fire. And people who haven't been through your fires can't understand your calm. They mistake your peace for arrogance, your certainty for pride, your self-assurance for delusion. Let them misunderstand. You're not here to convince anyone of anything. There's someone watching you right now who's realizing they made a terrible mistake with you. They had you in their life and didn't treat you with the respect you deserved. Maybe they were influenced by someone else's opinion of you. Maybe they were dealing with their own insecurities. Maybe they simply didn't recognize what they had until it was gone. But they're seeing you now, seeing your growth, seeing your glow, seeing the life you're building without them. And they're feeling the full weight of what they lost. They want to reach out, but they're too intimidated now, too ashamed, too aware that they fumbled something irreplaceable. Don't make it easy for them. Don't reach back just because they finally woke up. Let them sit with that lesson. Let them learn from that loss. If they're supposed to return, they need to come correct, with humility, with awareness, with real change. Otherwise, they're just going to waste your time again. You're entering a phase where people are going to be unusually quiet around you. It's not because they don't like you, it's because your energy has elevated to a point where they're not sure how to engage. You intimidate people now more than ever, not through force, through presence, through the undeniable reality that you've become someone who doesn't need validation or permission, someone who trusts their own knowing, someone who moves with purpose. This makes people nervous, because most people are still seeking approval from everyone around them. You're not. You've graduated from that. You answer to your calling now. Everything else is secondary. Some of you are creative or have a message to share, and you've been hesitant because putting yourself out there feels vulnerable. Here's what you need to understand. You're meant to be seen. Your voice is meant to be heard. Your message is meant to reach people. The discomfort you feel about visibility isn't a sign you should hide. It's resistance trying to keep you small. The world needs what you carry. There are people waiting for exactly what you have to offer. And every day you delay because of fear is another day they don't receive what could change their life. Your visibility will trigger people. It always has. But it will also inspire people, heal people, wake people up. The ones who matter will find you. The ones who don't will reveal themselves quickly. Both serve your purpose. Let's address the loneliness. You've felt alone most of your life, even when surrounded by people, because most people can't meet you where you actually exist. They interact with the version of you they're comfortable with, while the real you remains unseen. This is the cost of carrying what you carry. You live in layers most people never access. You think in dimensions most people never explore. You feel at depths most people actively avoid. Finding people who can actually be with you in your fullness is rare, but those people exist, and as you step fully into your power, they're going to start appearing. Not everyone, not many, but enough, the right ones, the real ones, the ones who aren't intimidated by your light because they're carrying their own. You're not crazy, you're not too much, you're not broken, you're awake in a world that's largely asleep, you're aware in a space where most people are operating on autopilot. You're connected to something most people have lost touch with, and this creates a gap between you and others that feels isolating, but isolation is often preparation. You're being prepared for a level of impact that requires this season of aloneness. You're being refined, focused, strengthened. Everything happening is happening for you, not to you. There's something else happening that you need to understand. You make things look easy. People watch you accomplish things and assume it came naturally. They don't see the struggle behind the scenes, the sleepless nights, the doubt, the failures you pushed through. They see the end result and think it was effortless for you. This creates another layer of intimidation because they compare your highlight reel to their behind-the-scenes struggle and feel inadequate. But here's what they're missing. You work harder than most people can imagine. You're disciplined when others are distracted. You stay focused when others give up. You make sacrifices others aren't willing to make. Your results aren't magic. They're the compound effect of consistent effort that nobody sees. And this is why when you try to teach people or show them the path, they often don't follow through. They want the outcome without the process. They want your level without your discipline. They want your peace without your prayers. They want your glow without your growth. And when they realize the work required, they quit. Then they resent you for making it look easy. They call you lucky, call you privileged, call you anything except what you are, committed. You're about to experience something interesting with people from your past. Some of them are waking up right now, having their own spiritual moments, going through their own transformations. And in that process, they're remembering you, remembering what you tried to tell them, remembering warnings you gave that they ignored, remembering advice they dismissed. And they're realizing you were right about things they weren't ready to hear. Some of them want to reconnect. Some are too ashamed. Some are simply sending energy your way, thinking about you, dreaming about you. You feel this. You've been feeling increased attention on your energy lately. That's not your imagination. That's real spiritual awareness, picking up on the fact that multiple people are focused on you right now. Don't rush back into anything with these people. Yes, some of them have learned, some have grown, some might actually be ready now for what they couldn't handle before, but you need to see evidence, not just hear words. People can say they've changed, people can apologize beautifully, people can promise they're different now. Watch their actions, watch their consistency, watch whether they've actually done the work or just learned better language. Your discernment is sharper than ever. Trust it. If someone is meant to be back in your life, the reconnection will feel right. It will feel peaceful. It won't feel like you're convincing yourself or making excuses for red flags you're choosing to ignore. Trompedempi, here's what's about to shift. You're about to start attracting people who actually appreciate what you bring, who value your insight, who respect your boundaries, who don't drain your energy, who add to your life instead of taking from it. These people are coming because you've finally stopped settling. You've stopped making yourself available to anyone who shows interest. You've stopped explaining yourself to people who aren't trying to understand. You've stopped carrying people who won't carry themselves. And this shift in your energy is creating space for the right connections to form. The people who betrayed you are learning right now. Karma isn't punishment, it's education. And life is teaching them what they lost when they walked away from you. Some of them are going through exactly what they put you through. Some are watching their own lives fall apart after leaving yours. Some are realizing that the success and peace they experienced around you wasn't coincidence. Your energy lifts people, your presence blesses people, and when they remove themselves from that blessing, they feel the absence. They're learning. Don't interrupt their lesson by taking them back prematurely. Let the lesson complete. If they're supposed to return, they will with the wisdom earned from their mistake. You're starting to understand something crucial about advice and guidance. People come to you constantly asking what they should do. They value your insight, they trust your perspective. But when you need guidance, where do you turn? Most people can't give you what you give them. They don't operate at the frequency required to truly see your situation. They give surface-level answers to multidimensional problems. And you've learned the hard way that the best guidance comes from within, from your direct connection to divine wisdom, from the quiet knowing that rises when you stop asking everyone else and start listening to yourself. This is why you often feel like you have to figure everything out alone, because in many ways you do, not because people don't care, because they simply can't see what you see, can't access what you access, can't understand the complexity of what you're navigating. So you've become your own best counsel, your own most trusted advisor, and this self-reliance intimidates people even more. They're used to being needed, used to being the one with answers, but you've moved beyond needing their permission or approval to make your moves. Here's something else you've noticed. When you give advice, people often ignore it. Then they go do exactly what you warned them against. Then they come back after it blows up and admit you were right. This pattern has repeated so many times you've lost count, and it used to frustrate you. Why ask if they weren't going to listen? But now you understand. Some people aren't asking for guidance, they're asking for validation. They've already decided what they're going to do. They just want you to co-sign it. When you don't, when you tell them the truth they don't want to hear, they dismiss it. Then life teaches them the lesson you tried to spare them from. This is part of why you're pulling back from constantly trying to help people who aren't ready to help themselves. You have gifts that are about to become undeniable, things you've been quietly developing, seeds you've been planting in private, work you've been doing when nobody was watching. All of it is about to become visible. And when it does, people who doubted you are going to be shocked. People who dismissed you are going to be uncomfortable. People who underestimated you are going to realize they were wrong. Don't gloat, don't explain, don't justify, just keep building. Your success is the only response needed. Your peace is the only proof required. Your joy is the only revenge necessary. Look, you already know the attacks weren't random. And if you're paying attention, you can feel it. Their walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve cooperative intelligence. Bwandrikampa, the beauty is, you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and your subconscious is rewired while your enemies collapse under the weight of their own lies. This is why I created it in the beginning, so everything they did to break you becomes fuel for your purpose. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. You're being called to leadership even if you don't feel ready, even if you don't want the responsibility, even if you'd prefer to stay in the background. What you carry is meant to guide others. Your experience is meant to light the path for people behind you. Your story is meant to show people what's possible. You can't hide anymore. You can't play small anymore. You can't pretend you're ordinary anymore. You're not. You never were. And the sooner you accept this, the sooner you step into the fullness of what you're here to do. Something interesting happens when you finally accept your calling, when you stop fighting who you are and embrace it fully. The right people start appearing almost magically, not the ones who need saving, not the ones who want to drain you, but the ones who are ready to build with you. The ones who match your energy, the ones who've done their own work and can actually meet you where you are. These people don't need you to dim your light. They don't feel threatened by your success. They celebrate your wins like their own because they understand there's abundance for everyone. They're secure enough in themselves to stand beside someone powerful without feeling small, and these are the relationships worth having. These are the connections that will carry you through the next level. You might notice that when you're truly happy, when you're glowing with confidence and purpose, that's when you're most powerful. But people spent years trying to humble you, trying to convince you that confidence was arrogance, trying to make you doubt yourself. They kept you small by keeping you insecure. Every time you started to rise, someone would say something to knock you back down. Every time you felt good about yourself, someone would find something to criticize. This wasn't accidental. When you're confident and clear, you're unstoppable. And certain people couldn't handle that version of you, so they worked to keep you uncertain, questioning, seeking their approval. But those days are over. You've reclaimed your confidence, and now you move with an authority that can't be shaken by anyone's opinion. The past season was about loss, things falling away, people leaving, situations ending. It felt like destruction, but it was actually construction. Everything that didn't belong had to go to make room for what does belong. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. And now you're entering the season where you see why, where the pieces start making sense, where the waiting pays off, where the faith becomes sight. Everything you've been through was necessary. Everything you've survived was purposeful. Everything you've lost was making space. And everything about to come is going to prove it was worth it. You are chosen, not because you're perfect, because you're willing to grow when growth is painful, willing to change when change is scary, willing to stand alone when standing with the crowd would be easier, willing to trust when trust has been broken, willing to love when love has hurt you, willing to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. This willingness is your superpower. This willingness is why you're selected for what's coming. Most people aren't willing. They want the blessing without the preparation, the promotion without the process, the crown without the crucifixion. You've proven you'll go through whatever is required, and that's exactly why you're about to receive what others only dream about. Your spiritual authority is real. Your ranking is real. Your purpose is real. And every person who made you feel like you were too much, too intense, too different, too ambitious, too spiritual, too anything, was simply too small for where you're going. They couldn't join you on this level, not because something is wrong with them, because something is right with you that they're not ready for yet. Maybe someday, maybe never. Either way, you keep moving. Ron Sation. The nervousness you create in others isn't something to apologize for. It's confirmation you're walking in power. Real power makes people uncomfortable because it demands they either rise or reveal themselves. Most will reveal themselves. A few will rise. Focus on the few. Build with the few. Celebrate with the few. The crowd was never your assignment. Your tribe is small but mighty. Quality over quantity. Depth over breadth. Real over performative. You're about to enter a phase where everything accelerates, where doors open rapidly, where opportunities multiply, where the right people appear at the right time, where what you've been building suddenly takes off. This isn't luck. This is alignment. This is divine timing. This is the universe responding to the work you've been doing when nobody was watching. Stay ready. Stay focused. Stay in your power. What's coming is bigger than what you've seen, better than what you've known, more than what you've imagined, and you're ready for it. Everything was preparing you for this. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust yourself. You are exactly who you're supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're about to see exactly why.